So this was the big day, getting everything packed up into the lorry. Quite a strange feeling.
Leaving the house that we've built our business and life in for a new adventure in Spain.
In the back of a van.
When we first moved into the van, it was November and it was pretty chilly in the UK, as you can imagine, but it was so cosy in our camper van.
Look at the weather outside. Absolutely miserable. And oh, I have a feeling someone is on their way. How come I get all the best jobs?
I wasn't going out in that. The face on him. When he had jobs to do, get on with the dinner.
We have some good meals in the van actually. It's surprising what you can cook just with an air fryer and one ring. And he's not too worried about the cooking. He's quite happy, look. I love it. And a whole roast dinner. Look at that. Crispy roast potatoes, Kevin pies. People say, oh, how do you survive in a camper van? And actually, pretty well. Wow.
That was a delicious meal. I could eat that right now.
Definitely.
And there's always the washing up to do.
It was quite fun though, really. I suppose at this stage it was a novelty. In England it was a pain, obviously, because you had to get out of the van in the wet or the cold to do the washing up. In Spain, not so much of a problem.
It did help though that we were on a really nice campsite on a lovely sort of woodland area in Sandringham. So even when it was wet, it was still pretty beautiful.
And you still had your beetle, Boris. I just about fit on that sofa to have a sleep. Proper cosy.
Good night, the night before we head off.
Can you hear us over the blowers? What a start to our adventure. It's absolutely sheeting down.
Pouring with rain.
We can't wait to leave the country.
It's a good day to leave the country.
Yeah, so we're on our way to Dover today, and then we're gonna head out 9:10 tomorrow morning to get our ferry across to France. And then the adventure starts, isn't it?
We'll do a little park for night tonight, a bit of wild camping, wake up early and get the ferry, so we'll keep in touch.
We will.
Let's hit the road.
Hit the road, see you soon.
Raring to go.
So
where are we?
Overnight, I think we're kind of just north of Poitiers on an air, just on the side of the road. It was quite, and it wasn't peaceful because it was that constant traffic, but it kind of lulled you to sleep really. It was all right.
There's quite good facilities.
You've got loos, sinks, rubbish. So
Picnic
it's great.
areas in the summertime, I'm sure these are very busy.
In January, not so attractive to have a picnic outside because it's kind of a bit drizzly today. But we're going to travel on, hoping to get pretty much to the Spanish border, to Perpignan. We've got our big map on the wall here, and we're going to virtually get to here. Yeah, Perpignan. That's our plan. Possibly slightly over the border and do a wild camp tonight, and then probably then go on to a campsite just south of Barcelona tomorrow.
Because we've been told don't stop in Barcelona with your camper van.
There are a few places you can do it, I think, but they're saying they're noisy, they're not very safe, and so, you know, you just have to, I suppose, listen to people who've already been there. So we're going to do a campsite that you can then just hop on the train into Barcelona within about 40 minutes or something, and we'll just revisit our little honeymoon spot.
There was a whole area and street full of vegetarian and vegan restaurants.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I wondered if we can even, I'm not sure whether you're allowed to go as a non-guest into our hotel to have a little cocktail on the roof.
Just off Las Ramblas.
And also on our way down for the next part of the journey, we are going to invest in our 4G, because thanks to Brexit we now have to pay €2 a day for our roaming internet, which is a bit of a pain, because when we done our trip last year you could just use your 3G the same as in the UK, but now it's if you upgraded your phone after something like the 1st of October or something last year. No, not last year, 2021 I think. Something like that anyway. So we tried to use this, which was fine. Good old fashioned Atlas.
We got on most of the time.
Most of the time it was okay, but when we had a few problems because the road signage was not great round a place called Tours.
And Rouen, we got took a wrong turn there. But nothing major, but it's just annoying, isn't it?
But it probably took us, what, all in an hour if you took the two problem, 2 mistakes time-wise. It took up an hour of our time at least, and it cost us, we had to get onto a péage road, which cost €4 something.
€4.20 each
€4
way.
€20 each way. So €840 in cost, and
the fuel.
And the fuel, I said it probably cost about £5.
So
diesel.
sod it, we're putting the 3G on
So
today.
for the £2 saved in the 3G, we should have just gone for it. So we're not being tight today, we're going back to technology. That's what it was designed for.
And it's
so.
less stressful.
And this cost £17. So.
$14.99. It wasn't
Oh,
quite that bad, but
$14.99,
it was,
so-
you know, you do. It's quite good though. I quite like looking at the maps. You can kind of
Yeah, we.
have an overview.
It
But
is good because
when you're on the road outside a big city on an intersection, you're like, do you want to
With
go
about
Bordeaux?
15
Do you want to go? You're like, I
options.
just don't know what to do. So
it's quite stressful.
yeah, it is.
So and cars coming from every direction. So we're going to get back to the sat nav today and head on down to the Spanish-French border. So we'll finish my breakfast.
We'll catch up soon.
See you later.
So now we're back on the open road, back in Spain finally.
And this time we were so excited because we were looking for our perfect Spanish property where we could start our vegan business.
Some great times on the way though. Eating in the van, cooking in the van, chilling in the van. Some amazing places to visit as well. I think this is Sitges. Yeah, Cinnamon on the promenade.
We used the Happy Cow app, which is invaluable really because you can just find a vegan eatery wherever you are. And it turns out in Spain there's many more than people would ever imagine.
People think it's going to be difficult, don't they, to eat vegan in Spain, but actually,
This
far
one was
from it.
in Elche, called Quinoa.
Wow, that was tasty. And so many amazing places to camp up. That's the thing, and you can legitimately do it. Nobody really cares. You can see all the camper vans in the background actually, so you're not alone.
I love making smoothies in the van. It's an easy thing to do. And a bit of oat milk, banana, some oats, some acai powder, some nut butter, anything like that. And they sort of just give you that sort of midday little top up of a meal. Lots of protein, lots of goodness. And whizzed up in our little rechargeable blender, which again was one of the best buys really.
Because you're not always plugged in, you need to think about things like that, don't you? When you're wild, you can still make a smoothie or brew up a coffee on the stove. Wow, look at the colour of that. And look at the views, I mean, amazing.
We travelled down to Tarifa and the weather got better and better. Cooking outdoors again.
I mean, that's just the great thing in Spain as opposed to England. You know, you can just cook outside,
Which
right
when
by
you're
the
in a
water.
camper van is the best way to live really.
Mm.
And as soon as I got chance, I up on the roof of the van, taking in the scenery, the sunrise, the sunset, whenever the opportunity arose really. And then at night time, it's that last gin and tonic.
Non-alcoholic.
It's always good to have non-alcoholic because when you're in a van, you never know when you're going to have to move on.
So then we did move on. We looked at 43 countryside properties, if you can believe it, in some stunning locations. And this, as it turned out, is the one we loved the most.
It was our one and only village casa that we viewed, and it's often the curveball that you fall in love with, and we fell in love with the village, the casa, and even the drive up here really. It's a little bit twisty-turny, but it's quite epic really. Amazing views, and that moment you see the villager better come into sight is quite special. We still think, can you believe this is actually where we now call home?
On the final bend, you then get the big reveal. There's everything we need in Beda, and we just love it, don't we? So join us next time as we take you back inside the casa and look at the vegan B&B and our plans for the future. Don't forget to subscribe.